Hello, my name is Pedro Andrade. I am a Portuguese sociologist from Lisbon, Portugal. I am going to talk about mobile tourism and tourist knowledge at Viral Society, using sociological research games against COVID-19, within a big knowledge context. 1. Introduction. Objective. From touristic information to tourist knowledge, this paper aims to understand some central articulations between mobile tourism and daily life within the urban fabric, under COVID-19 pandemic. Mobile tourism is circumscribed as tourism supported by locative digital devices, for example mobile phones and their apps. Before mobile revolution, tourists often just collected descriptive or historical information on the travel and about the visited society, for example data on booking trips and hotels, leisure places, food and drinks, or data about cultural heritage. Nowadays, tourists search more and more knowledge about the visited societies, using a strategy named tourist knowledge. Such concept means the production and consumption of experiences and memories that articulate knowledge originated within societies where the tourist belongs, with knowledge and savoir was generated inside a visited country's cultures. Method. One way to augment tourism knowledge is to use research sociological games. These are visual methods, developed by the author, using Unity and 3D software, to construct game apps for mobile devices, to be activated in particular against COVID-19, by citizens and tourists, within urban locations territories of visited countries. These games' scope is not just to consult informative or descriptive data, but also mutually comprehend different visited cultures and risks, by applying multiple modes of interconnected knowledge among visitors and visited peoples. 2. The debate on knowledge, research and games within culture and arts. The Information Society, for decades, has produced cyclopean quantities of data, a phenomenon known as big data. Such process makes it extremely difficult to analyze information in a timely manner, for its application to economy, cultural industries, education and research. The recent network society only exacerbates such situation. One of the recommended solutions to solve this problem is the use of knowledge management systems, such as knowledge sites and bases, for example Freebase. These systems use varied software for the extraction, analysis and dissemination of knowledge graph in Google, Facebook, etc. In other words, within the network society, big data is gradually becoming big knowledge. This means a strategy that overcomes some shortcomings of big data, but simultaneously raises others, such as the inflation of non-curated knowledge. ISK Society and Viral Society. We are also living within a risk society, Beck, 2013. The more recent of these risks is manifestly and undoubtedly COVID-19. Since the spread of such pandemic, a sort of viral society is emerging, that can be studied through viral sociology, among other viral knowledges. This is a society paradigm defined by societal processes never seen before, such as viral economies and technologies, based on capitalism's global expansion but as well weaknesses and economic crises, caused not only by computer viruses, but also and increasingly by biological viruses, viral policies and politicians. For example, the possibility that certain states, institutions, organizations, associations, or other social agents, use various types of viruses as weapons of threat, aggression or surveillance, local or global, viral cultures and cults, that is, ways of exercising science, new media and arts, or other knowledge and leisure, to reach a contamination of all societies and cultures, in order to establish hegemonies of scientific thought, technological skills and devices, and artistic tastes, social mobilities and mobile devices. Inside the daily life of cities, everything is in motion. The latest urban planning strategies inaugurated new city paradigms, for example the smart city, the creative city or the city 3.0. Such continuous and sustained social process is expressed via two central manifestations, analyzed by sociologist John Ari, 2007, urban social mobilities and cell phones. This digital device constitutes one of the most paradigmatic instruments of such mobilities. In Portugal, and European arena where tourism have been seriously affected, a University of Minho project is studying viral cities articulated with viral tourism. The touristic role of cultural institutions at viral society. It is emerging a clear and remarkable awareness, among some museum staff, planners, researchers, museum cicerones, etc., about recent changes in the visit conditions, motivated by the pandemic. In what concerns measures to develop cultural tourism, as above mentioned, not just healthcare and the diffusion of descriptive information and knowledge on this matter, but also on the dissemination of interpretive and critical knowledge about it. For instance, such communication should be related to not just historical knowledge or to other traditional descriptive or normative information, such as the use of masks, decontamination via disinfectants, or the minimum distances among visitors, but also share cultural curation and sociological knowledge about their cultures and societies, in particular concerning traveling knowledge, for example on how to act safely at cultural digital locations within a pandemic conjuncture. Sociological research games for safe touring. The precedent theoretical statements and recommendations may be applied to tourism playful practices. For example, a sociological research game is a dispositif using mobile devices software that may help citizens and cultural tourists to exchange information on one another, share social, cultural and sociological knowledge about their society's cultures, mainly under the COVID-19 threat. Such games may be implemented via mobile devices, apps and ebooks that can help their users and readers not just to exchange information on destination sites, for example, data on booking trips and hotels, degusting local food and drinks or choosing cultural places. In addition, a more effective reciprocal communication could include social, sociological and anthropological knowledge about the diverse cultures of visitor profiles. Therefore, viral sociology, a viral knowledge here mediated through sociological research games, may study hybrid reality (HR). This is a mode of the real that blends and hybridizes social reality, virtual reality, augmented reality and mixed reality, which means VR and AR. Hybrid media, also named hybrid media, hybridizes at least two types of media. On one hand, originated media, that is, the initial media within a communication process, for example a newspaper interview and a poster. On the other hand, original media, meaning the resulted media of both, for example a creative post in a social network including a fusion of the originated media, that is, the newspaper and the poster. HR means an app using a hybrid media. A SAP book signifies a sociological app mixed with a sociological ebook. 3. Former related projects. 3.1. Sociological game Major Valenteo, Major Bully, 2006. The game paradigm defined as sociological games was firstly introduced in 2006 by the author of this presentation, when he was teaching art and technologies at the University of Lisbon, Faculty of Fine Arts. In a class, he showed, as a part of the syllabus, a sociological game he programmed in Flash, named Major Valenteo, Major Bully. Among other places, this work was also presented in 2013 by the author, as an invited professor in a seminar at University of Savoie-Mont Blanc, France, and at New Art Fest 18, event in partnership with Lisbon Web Summit, that took place at National Society of Fine Arts, National Museum of Natural History and Science, Faculty of Fine Arts, and Portuguese Architects Order, Lisbon, from November 28 until the 2nd of December, 2018. What a sociological game is. A brief definition of sociological games is as follows. Sociological games are digital devices allowing to participate in social processes, and to interpret or transform them, by means of playful strategies. These games are made within society, but they don't reduce themselves to functioning as social games. They also work as sociological games. Indeed, they present, represent and simulate social realities in multiple ways, engaging the player as a social actor, but also as a sort of ordinary sociological author. Andrade, 2015a, page 155. To be or not to be Sims. Sims simulation, even if it is a social game, cannot be considered a sociological game, because it does not suggest enough reflections or deep criticism on society through its use. On the contrary, recent sociological digital games can transform any dimension of society into playful gaming, by applying various hermeneutics. In 2006, the game Major Valenteo, Major Bully, ironically criticized a public person, by playful means, for example, by shooting a projectile on that symbolic social person, and via an attractive interface, whose recognizable social context, a football field, frames and ridicules the targeted social agent, Major Bully, a dishonest football manager. For more details, see Andrade, 2015a, page 155. 3.2, Trichotomies game, 2010. This is a game targeted to researchers, teachers, students, cultural tourists and citizens in general, aiming to develop their artistic knowledge within a research posture. Research means research through search. for example search via Google's search engine or inside a game, in order to collect information or knowledge that can be used in a given research. Trichotomies game was constructed from 2009 until 2010, departing from an idea suggested by the author of this presentation, when he was the coordinator of Project Public Communication of Art, funded by Foundation for Science and Technology, at Lisbon. The project studied art museums' aesthetic practices via new media by museums publics. The game was included in a hypermedia multi-touch table, constructed by a team of this project's researchers, under coordination of Professor Nuno Correa, from the New University of Lisbon, Faculty of Science and Technology. Such interactive table allowed the public of the museum to consult works using essentially touch, associated with visual devices and other media. This prototype was presented to the public at the exhibition Without Web by artist Joana Vasconcelos, which took place at Museum Collection Berardo, Lisbon, from the 1st of March to the 18th of May, 2010, see Andrade, 2011, page 173, New Media Sociological Methods. In this context of the exhibition Without a Web, several innovative sociological methodologies were created and experimented. For example, the multi-touch interactive questionnaire was developed in 2010, and probably consists of the first sociological questionnaire carried out in Portugal, activated through touch by a wide audience. See Andrade, 2011, page 179. Another experimental sociological methodology is the trichotomies game itself, insofar as the data related to its activation were recorded in the Museum for Sociological Interpretation. If a dichotomy means the relationship between two concepts, a trichotomy expresses the connection among three ideas. In the trichotomies game presented in Joana Vasconcelos' exhibition, visitors were invited to choose 3 works of art, made by the artist, in some way interconnected. For example, 3 works that show women's issues in both content and form, such as those showing the same visual configuration, the heart, see figure. The objective of this strategy is to allow visitors to the museum or exhibition, when observing works of art, to better understand and assimilate the necessary relationships that the artworks contain in its production process by the artist. See Andrade, 2011, page 181. 3.3, Research Game, 2014. A further step was undertaken with a serious game named Interactive Research Game, or ARG as its acronym. It allows not just to play with concepts included in a search research, as it happens with the trichotomies game. In addition, a research game conceives the whole research in a more playful way, through the integration of its main procedures within an environment that makes the user become more active and social. In other words, a research game allows to design a research, for example a case study, in its various stages, through playable research methods, techniques and actions. Again, current social sciences and urban methodologies ignore many of such potentialities. This tool is also targeted primarily to be used by a population universe of teachers, researchers, students of higher education institutions, tourists and citizens in general, for inquiring and developing, among other skills, their research literacy. In fact, this game encourages the incorporation of more exigent qualifications than those that can be developed by many educational games. In our society of knowledge, it is critical not just know how to deal with information, but as well with specialized knowledge, both substantive knowledge in an area, and methodological savoirs. Such strategy often involves the following actions and skills: connect search, within Google, etc., with research, interpret the deep meaning of information, and not just describe or narrate facts, articulate analysis with critical judgments, communicate content and ideas to diverse audiences, for example through studying their profiles and targeting knowledge to that specific public's segments. 3. Sociological Research Games, 2014 to 2021. Furthermore, a games meta-genre that hybridizes sociological games, trichotomies games and research games, may be defined as a sociological research game. This means that, besides using more traditional sociological knowledge and methods, such as interviews, polls and direct observation, this game type suggests an emergent hybrid knowledge and arising hybrid methodology, developed around novel, intense and augmented new media potentialities, to be applied on sociological subjects. In other words, such hybrid knowledge is to be transferred from their producers, authors, to their publics, social actors. Therefore, what follows is an example of knowledge transfer within a practical demonstration of how to construct a sociological research game. Knowledge types for social research. Sociological research game is based on a story with this title, The Mystery of the Missing Knowledge. What follows is a fictional narrative, presented below as a storytelling device, which constitutes a powerful instrument both for education on research and for researching on education. Once upon a cultural urban time, an art museum at Lisbon had a valuable Picasso painting that constantly risked to be stolen. One night, someone entered in the museum after the closing time, 7 p.m. In the morning, the security guard noticed that the Picasso painting had not been robbed, but, strangely enough, all the information on it was gone from the museum archives, for example records in databases, historical data, critiques in books, journals, etc. Nobody knew why and how this was perpetrated, in particular the reason of the missing knowledge regarding the painting, as if this knowledge was more important than the painting itself. To solve such mystery, the museum director asked potential players to help him, like experienced researchers and teachers, talented students, or skilled museum professionals and members of cultural publics. However, to succeed, they should use several types of knowledge, and share them with other characters circulating within the museum: curators, art historians, visitors and their analysts such as sociologists. Sherlock or Columbo styles of research. This knowledge sharing must be mainly done through the following steps. The player collects information and knowledge clues. The player answers some tests and plays mini-games to show how his global interpretation and understanding on what happened. A final test to the player will evaluate what she or he discovered, based on the information and knowledge she or he collected and on partial tests results. For such aim, players may act and play within the role of a research detective, either playing the Sherlock or the Columbo characters, while using two different but complementary strategies of inquiry: deductive Sherlock strategy and/or inductive Columbo style of research. Each of these strategies is defined through their particular type of knowledge used, and via the respective sequence. See images. Some sociological research games contents. Contents include a curatorship of critical knowledge about social and urban processes, structures, contexts, agents, practices and objects. In particular, this content is based on and privileges socio-cultural and sociological aspects of everyday life invaded by the coronavirus. For instance, the urban fabric is analyzed in terms of a viral cultural city, at Communication and Society Research Center, University of Minho, Braga, Portugal. For example, see the sites indicated below, which include the content shown in the next slides. http://www.sects.uminho.pt/en/and https://www.sites.google.com/view/viral-tourism-city. Conclusion. The possibilities of sociological research games for the curatorship of cultural and arts knowledge are endless. These and other tools can help in the unequal struggle that is taking place today between, on the one hand, culture and cultural stakeholders and, on the other hand, the pandemic caused by COVID-19.